Lots of updates, lots going on, and I apologize I don't sound great, but that's how it is. Anyway, it's time for This Week with BigC. So I did want to apologize. I don't sound great because I'm getting over a really bad cold. It actually kept me out of work several days, and I'm starting to get over it, but it's been tough to, work a mostly mental job that entirely depends on my personality as well as being able to handle things on the fly when my head is incredibly stuffy and I don't sound amazing. But I'm hanging in there. But we have a lot of stuff to go over, some of which is great, some of which is not. So let's get to the recap, part one. So this is a two-part video, and a part of that I will explain in one of the parts. It might be part two, I'm not 100% sure, but one of the parts I'll explain why it's a two-part video. But yeah, let's get to the recap, part one. Hey everybody, it is Tuesday. I have some good news for once, which is great. Actually, it is great news, but the problem is getting there. So I mentioned in my last episode that I applied for another job. And I did my second interview on Friday. And I was expecting, because they mentioned how it can take a couple weeks for the response to go through. For them to let me know if I got the job or not. Well, I got the job. I found out yesterday. It was pretty quick, so it sounds like I impressed them a pretty good amount if they were that quick to offer me the job. So I'll be working at a company called RailBookers, which is essentially a company who specializes in booking trips and travel packages via train, which is pretty cool. I'm excited about it for multiple reasons. The biggest of which is stability, because it has a $22 an hour base pay. So no matter what, I'll be getting $22 an hour, which is pretty good. I'll be working remote, just like I have been. They send me all the equipment that I need to work there. It is a 9 to 5:30 schedule, which is great. That means I won't have to work all these crazy hours that I've been working at this job and not making a dime from them. And I'll have 2 days a week off. I'll be off Mondays and Tuesdays, which are not ideal, but I'm just happy that I'll have a stable job. And I mean, having Friday or Monday and Tuesday is not the worst, because that means if I need to book like a doctor's appointment or go somewhere that's only open during the week, I can do so on my normal days off. I don't have to like take a day off or anything like that. So that's really nice. Commissions, so I can make a commission whenever I make a sale. And then it's inbound calls instead of outbound, which is fantastic because cold calling sucks. And the last two jobs I've worked have been basically cold calling. Now, I mean, there were some elements to it. Like, it wasn't just like calling people out of the blue, but it was basically cold calling, and it's not fun. Not only that, but you get a lot of angry people who are just like, why are you calling me? I don't want to talk to you. Or they hang up in your face. And I mean, I get that's just part of the job, but it's not pleasant. And it'll be much better to have people calling me wanting service, as opposed to me trying to find somebody who I can get service for. So yeah, I will be starting on March 6th. So that's great. So I've already pre-decided my last day at SLS will be March 4th. Because I want to have a day to just kind of rest and get mentally ready for the new job. So I figure I'll be off Sunday. I'll work Monday at SLS. Monday will be my last day, and then Tuesday I will start at the new job. So, or not Tuesday, Wednesday I'll start at the new job. So yeah, that's pretty much what that's what's going to be happening. That's great. The bad news is that I'm not doing so hot when it comes to finances. So the last 2 weeks I have made a whopping $0. I had a sale that I made last week. It was a baby sale, but I made it. And it just got overturned. So now I'm getting nothing for it. I've been trying to get the client back on the phone and I haven't been able to. So that's unfortunate. But it also means that I'm getting no money again this week, and rent is due, and I needed a decent amount of money to be able to afford to pay my rent, and I don't have it. I had enough a few weeks ago, but that was under the impression that I would have enough, I'd be getting more money between then and now, and I haven't really. So that's a challenge, but I'm going to figure it out one way or another. I've survived this long on barely scraping by, so I'm going to do my best to do it again. We'll see how I do it, but that's going to be a challenge. And then I just have to survive the next 3 weeks. That's the biggest thing for me, is I need to survive the next 3 weeks. I got to make some money. Like, even if it's a couple sales here and there, like, as long as I can have some money coming in, I'll be okay. I mean, obviously, I'm going to need to find a way to pay rent next month, which is just not going to be fun. But I'm going to do my best to do that. Hopefully I can make enough money in the next few weeks to make that happen. But I mean, as soon as I can get to the 6th, things will get better, because then I'll have an hourly rate, I'll have a consistent paycheck, so things will finally start to get back to normal, or as close to normal as I can get, starting in March, when I actually can start making some money and actually start, getting back to normal life. Because this is not pleasant at all. Like, and I get it, because, when I signed on for SLS, they've said several times that, like, the first year or so really sucks. But, eventually it pays off. And I get that, and I honestly do believe it. But it's just not going to work for me. I don't have that luxury. Like, if this was like a family's second income, and they had another way to survive without, one of them making money, that's one thing. I have no other income. This is my only income, and I'm just not making enough to survive. So, I got to do something else. So, I mean, it's been an interesting experience to get to know the world of insurance sales, and I will use some of that knowledge to the best of my ability at my new job and to any future potential jobs, although hopefully this one will be the last one for a long time. That's the hope anyway. But yeah, I'm just glad that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. The last few months have been terrible. I haven't gotten anything going. I mean, I've gotten a few sales here and there, And right when I thought I was starting to get something going and finally, maybe getting into a rhythm, I stopped. The other challenging thing, there's a lot of challenging things about this job, but the biggest ones are the time, and it's so mentally draining. Like, I can't tell you how many days I get off work. Like, they want us to work at least until 6 o'clock. So 8 a.m. until 6 o'clock. And I get that. That's fine. That's a 10-hour day, but like, that's reasonable. We have like 2 to 3 hours of training every day too, so that's fine. But you can work later up until 9. I've been working till 8 many days, especially the last few, when I was really trying to get a sale. I just couldn't get anything going, and by the time I get off work, like, it's dark. I didn't get anything going, and it just hurts. Like, I'm down. I'm not in a good position, and not being mentally in a good position when you have to do a primarily mental job is not good. But what else am I supposed to do? This whole week is going to be tough, because in the back of my mind the entire time, I'm going to be thinking about, how am I going to pay my bills? How am I going to be able to survive the next 3 weeks until I can start this new job? Because I'm doing my best at this one, but I'm just not getting anything going. And they oftentimes say, oh, it's just because you're not trying hard enough, you're not putting in enough effort. And like, look, I get it. I'm putting in a lot of effort. I'm not getting as many dials or like getting as much talk time as a lot of other people are, which are major things that they judge you harshly on in this job. But I also value my mental health. And I know for a fact that if I kept pushing, if I'm not in a good mental state, it wouldn't do me any good. It wouldn't do them any good. Like, putting in dials for the sake of dials is not going to help you. You want to be in your best spot. You want to be your best, so that when you get somebody on the phone, you can actually do something with it. And I just haven't been. So I'm going to keep pushing. I still got a ways to go today. So we'll see how it goes. I'm hoping I can get something going. Ideally, if I could get at least a small sale today, then at least that will help me know that next week I'll have something in the bank, because not having anything and having no money on the horizon coming in is brutal. Like, I do have my tax refund, but I was going to use that pretty much for rent, to cover half of my rent, which is great, except I need to cover the other half, and I still haven't paid this month's. So it's been a struggle. I'm not asking for help. I know that didn't go over well the last couple of videos. By the time you see this, this will be long over. Also, I did want to mention that. So one of the unfortunate things that has happened over the past few weeks is my external hard drive appears to be dead. I had it plugged in, it was working fine, and then one day it just stopped working. Now, I tried a few different things, and thankfully I was able to get a few videos that I uploaded to it off and uploaded onto YouTube before it happened, but now I haven't been able to get it working. It's been basically just busted the entire time. So I'm probably going to need a new hard drive. And of course, why that's important is because that's where I've been storing my video, like my iMovie file, which is what I use for all my editing. And I can't really put it on my computer because the hard drive in my MacBook is way too small. It's only a 500 gig, and the iMovie file was taking up like 100 gig or something. It was taking up a ton of space. So I just didn't have the space on my MacBook to not only have the iMovie file, but also process everything. So that's a problem. I've been trying to get that fixed, but it hasn't worked. So realistically, you're probably not going to see this until I can get a new hard drive, and probably end up having to redo some of the stuff that I have when it comes to like how my videos are set up, which might not be a bad thing. It might be time for a refresh of some of this, like the intro and the outro and some of that, and I might just use this as an excuse to do that. But yeah, because that's down, like I really can't do a whole lot when it comes to videos, because I need my iMovie files, and I also need space to export the video file so I can upload it to YouTube. I might try to toy around with it when I have free time, which I rarely have free time anymore, just to see if maybe I can find a way to do like one video at a time with a single template instead of multiple. Because usually what I do is I have the templates ready to go. I have like the intro, the outro all set up and ready, so now I just plug in what I need and do a quick edit to make it fast. So I can try that with just a single template, and I'll just have to switch things out as I need to, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I just wanted to let everybody know what was going on. So I did get the job, which is great, and hopefully that will allow me to get back into a sense of normalcy. But at the same time, it's also going to be a challenge because it's going to take some time to catch up. Because right now, I'm very behind on a lot of things when it comes to finances. I've had to ask for help to cover the power bill. I've had to ask for help to cover my phone bill. All my credit cards are behind, so I'm gonna have to try to catch up on those. Our rent, we've been behind the last 3 or 4 months, so we've accumulated, I think we're up to 4 late fees, which are $200 a piece, and there's a decent chance we might have a 5th. So if that's the case, that means Corey and I will each owe an additional $500 on top of what we already owe for rent in order to catch up, which, I mean, it's going to take a bit before we can do that. But I mean, I don't really have other options. I just kind of have to get what I can get. So yeah. Anyway, that's what I've got. Just wanted to give you all a little update, and we'll see where this month takes me. Hopefully things will start to get better. But we will be filming Brosmas and possibly the Yearies. Although now that I can't do a lot of editing, maybe that might get delayed again, probably. We'll see. But yeah, just want to let everybody know what's going on. Hey everybody, it is Thursday, and today has been one of the most up and down roller coaster days that I've had in a long time. So it started off pretty well. I got a sale this morning, which was nice. It's not a huge sale, but it's a sale. So that will at least give me some money coming in next week, which is good. I've also gotten some help to pay my rent. So rent should be covered, thankfully. I'm not going to have to do anything crazy in order to get it paid. So thank you to everyone who reached out to help with that. It means the world. And thankfully I can still have a roof over my head. But throughout the afternoon,
Corey had to go to the doctor. He's been dealing with some issues with his legs, and he had a follow-up appointment, which we assumed he was just going to be getting some meds and then be good to go from there. I got a text shortly, like maybe an hour after he left, that he was being sent to the ER, which had me worried. Apparently he had elevated blood pressure and elevated heart rate, and that's why they took him there. And then shortly after that, I got a text that he was being admitted to the hospital. So Corey's in the hospital now. We don't entirely know why or what's going on, but he's there now. Hopefully this will just uncover what's wrong with him and help him recover faster. But it's still nerve-wracking that this is happening. And, you know, it doesn't help my stress level. That's one thing that I've been struggling with literally all week, is my stress level has been crazy high because I've had to try to figure out how I'm going to pay rent. I've had to figure out all kinds of things. And in addition to working my job. And now Corey's in the hospital on top of that. And there's nothing I can do about it. So I'm just trying to keep on keeping on. It's been really difficult. So I'm just doing my best to hang in there and to not let everything else that's going on get to me. But it's been very challenging. So, I mean, by the time you're seeing this, I'm assuming he'll be out. I would hope so. But I'm really worried for him, and I hope he's okay. But more than likely he's going to be there overnight, and I don't know, hopefully not any longer than that, but we'll find out, I guess. It's scary. I mean, he's one of my best friends, and he's my roommate, and of course I'm afraid for him. I hope he's okay, because you know, we've both been struggling the last few months, and it would be, you know, I want to be there for him as much as I can. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to let everybody know. But yeah, it's been a tough day.
And that's going to do it for this episode of This Week with Big C. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm sorry that these update videos have kind of been very sparse. Part of it is not a whole lot has happened, although this past week a lot has happened. And part of it is I don't know. I'm not always up to making videos about this kind of stuff, especially because sometimes it doesn't necessarily get the best response. But, you know, I try to be honest on here, and I hope y'all at least can respect when I try to be honest and genuine with the content I make on this channel. So this is a series that talks into real life, and sometimes real life isn't pretty. Right now it's very much not pretty, but, you know, that's the way life goes. And, you know, the best way to go about it is just to not try to sugarcoat things. Try to be as honest and respectful as possible. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next episode of This Week with Big C. Bye.